Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, today is Veterans Day, of course, and there were ceremonies across the region to salute our military heroes. Officials with Letcher County Central High School hosted one event. WYMT's Chaz Jenkins is at the school with more on how they recognize those who served.
Letcher County Central was bustling this morning as people throughout the community gathered together to commemorate Veterans Day. Faculty and staff hosted a catered breakfast and parade to honor those who have served in the military, extending an open invitation to any and all veterans in the area to come take part in the day's events. Teacher and event coordinator Josh Tyree says these types of celebrations are crucial to the legacy of the school.
We've always tried to have a huge celebration for our veterans. COVID really prevented that last year, but we've tried to bring that back this year in a way that's safe for our veterans, to protect them, but also giving our school community a chance to celebrate them and thank them for their service.
Local fire departments came by to recognize local veterans as well, helping ensure the parade went smoothly. Tyree says more than 40 veterans participated in the events. In Whitesburg, Chaz Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Tyree says they appreciate everyone in the community who came out to show their support. Chaz will have more on the event at 5:30, including interviews with 2 veterans who attended.
Oh, the weather, it is a changing outside. We're watching a cold front begin to work through the area, bringing us showers and eventually much cooler temperatures. Camera from UVA Wise showing, well, we saw a little bit of sunshine early today. The overcast has moved in, though, as that area of showers is headed in our direction. Downtown Whitesburg right now getting up to 66 right now, and that's all ahead of our front thanks to southwest winds. You don't need pinpoint Doppler to tell you where the frontal boundary is, because most of us near 70 degrees. But look out to our west where the rainfall's already moved through. They're in the middle and upper 50s across central Kentucky. There's the latest on our frontal boundary, just working into the western portions of the mountains. Places like Monticello into Somerset getting in on some of the rainfall right now, eventually on over into Whitley City as well. It's knocking on London on top of Columbia, Kentucky, and that'll be heading our way as we head through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. You'll have the latest radar imagery in the palm of your hand, along with our handwritten forecast. And those showers will continue at least through the evening hours, but we've got drier and much cooler weather on the way heading into the overnight. I'll have the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. After years of planning, construction is beginning on a new Veterans Hospital in Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell both attended the groundbreaking ceremony in Louisville today. The $180 million site will replace the existing Robley Rex VA Medical Center and will include a women's health clinic for the growing number of women veterans. Senator McConnell said the new hospital will provide 21st century care that our nation's heroes deserve.
While no government program can fully repay the great debt we owe, by breaking ground on this project today, we're taking a meaningful step toward fulfilling our sacred obligation to our nation's heroes.
Major construction begins next month, and the hospital campus is expected to be finished in 2026. There are growing concerns as veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars develop a range of cancers after being exposed to military burn pits. CBS's Natalie Brand spoke to a veteran who is sounding the alarm about the difficulty of drawing a direct link and urging the Veterans Administration to step up its studies of the issue.
Morning. Marine veteran Kate Hendricks Thomas never imagined a battle with stage 4 breast cancer, a reality she's had to share with her 7-year-old son.
I'm proud of you. We've started to tell him the truth that, you know, mommy has a terminal condition and it is going to kill her, but that she'll always be with you.
The 41-year-old learned of her diagnosis 4 years ago, more than a decade after returning from Iraq.
I was seeing my nurse practitioner for an annual exam, and she said, I want you to go get a mammogram based on where you've been stationed. The radiologist said it looked like I'd been dipped in something.
Hendricks Thomas didn't realize danger had been lurking on base in the form of burn pits, commonly used on overseas bases to get rid of waste.
I was 25 years old and I felt like I was invincible. You know that feeling when you're that age? I wasn't concerned at the time about any exposure risk.
You were concerned about surviving.
Exactly.
When you burn hazardous materials, that you have hundreds of toxic chemicals that can be inhaled into a person's body. And even now,
California Congressman Raul Ruiz, who's also a doctor, has been working on bipartisan legislation to make it easier for veterans to access benefits by including a range of cancers among the illnesses that are considered to have a presumed link to burn pits.
right now, the VA puts the burden of proof on the veterans.
Currently, veterans have to prove a direct connection. Hendricks Thomas, who also has a PhD in healthcare, says it took her 3 years for her claim to finally get approved after it was initially denied.
There is a true cost to war, and part of it is handling the veterans' benefits and healthcare when people come home.
She's now focused on helping to change the system for others and cherish her time with family.
Move, guys.
Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
CBS asked the VA how many burn pit-related cancer claims have been approved to date, but were unable to get a clear answer. And on this Veterans Day, the Biden administration announced new support for veterans exposed to environmental hazards, the main change being a presumption of exposure and expanded disability benefits to those who have to deal with illnesses linked to their possible exposure. Other efforts announced include improving data on individual exposures and raising awareness about veterans' benefits. This month is Movember, a time when men grow out their mustaches to raise awareness for a variety of men's health issues. One topic is the mental health of men, something that's not often discussed. Here in Eastern Kentucky, staff at the Kentucky River Community Care say men should express their feelings and not be ashamed if they feel upset. Licensed professional clinical counselor at KRCC, Randy Kloss, says many of his clients agree that counseling can be life-changing.
You know, people often tell me that it is helpful, and especially if they follow through, with treatment, I think it is a big plus in their lives.
Another impact of a lack of awareness on men's mental health, the CDC reports suicide is one of the leading causes of death in American men under the age of 45. Kloss says Kentucky River Community Care has a crisis line, and that number is 1-800-262-7491. More than 2 million at-home COVID-19 tests are being recalled due to high false positive results. The FDA says it's a Class 1 recall, the most urgent type. They are from the brand Illume. Regulators say false positives could lead to a delayed diagnosis or treatment of the actual cause of a person's illness. There have been 35 reports of false positives. The FDA says the reliability of negative test results is not affected. The tests were manufactured between February 24th and August 11th and were distributed between April 13th and August 26th. It looks like Santa Claus might not be coming to every small town and city this year. The head of a professional Santa Claus school in Denver says the region is down about 10 to 15% of Santas this year. Many older and heavier set men are opting out of the job over concerns about their risk of exposure to COVID-19, especially in children who are not yet vaccinated. Virtual or video visits are one solution that many are using to address the Santa shortage. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Thursday. The Dow closes down today more than 158 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But up next, we'll check in on 4 astronauts on their way to the International Space Station today.
And our cold front continues to push through the area this afternoon. I'll have the latest on its progress coming up.